Hello, Girl Scouts. I was just enjoying my favorite treat of hot Cajun Crunch and had a bright idea of how to turn this can into a lamp. So join me with today's video of how to turn your can of favorite treats into your very own desk lamp. For this project, the supplies you will need are one treat can, one wire hanger, one hobby wiring kit, which I will describe in detail in just a minute, 2 screws and nuts that are small, such as the ones that I have here that are machine screws that are 32 by 1/2 inch. I also used a single nail, like a tack nail, some needle nose pliers, wire cutters, a small hammer, and a small screwdriver. The hobby wiring kit that I used is one I found off of Amazon, and in doing some research there's a lot of variety in hobby wiring kits that you can come across, but I found this one and really liked it because it had all of the parts included, as well as having a wire that had the on and off switch on it, which was perfect for the lamp that we were going to be making. So this kit is referred to as the Creative Hobbies ML2-B6 Small Christmas Tree Wiring Kit. And if you are looking for a similar kit in a local hobby shop, these are often referred to as the wiring kits for ceramic Christmas trees. For a quick look inside what the kit includes, we have a wire with the on and off switch. There's a light bulb, a terminal to screw the light bulb in, as well as a couple of nuts and washers to assemble everything together. Now that we have all the supplies we need, our first step is to prepare the treat can to be our lampshade. So we're first going to peel off the label, and then we're going to gently wipe out the inside of the can with a damp cloth. We don't want to submerge it into water because the can is mostly made out of cardboard and that would ruin it. So just taking your time and gently cleaning out the inside will do the trick. Now that the can is clean, take the tack nail and, looking at your can, eyeball about 1/3 of the way up from the bottom and use the small hammer to help poke a hole into one of the sides. And then turn the can halfway around and just kind of eyeing it up so it's directly across from your first hole, poke another hole in exactly the same spot on the other side. Now we're going to flip the can over so that the bottom of the can is facing up and use the tack nail and hammer to punch a couple of holes right together in the middle of the can. We're going to make that into one slightly bigger hole, and we want that hole to be just big enough for that ribbed metal tube from the wiring kit to be able to fit into the hole. Our final step for preparing the can is to take our needle nose pliers and to carefully bend the edges of that hole that we just made inward into the bottom of the inside of the can. That way the edges of that hole will be smooth and will be safe for us to work with the can while we assemble it into a lamp. Now we're ready for the second part of our prep work, where we turn our wire hanger into the base for our lamp. So the type of wire hanger you want is that super cheap, flimsy wire hanger that usually gets thrown out or is not really used because it's all bent up. That's going to be perfect for this project because we're going to be able to use that and bend it nice and easily into the shape we want, and then it will hold the shape that we need for the lightweight lamp that we're going to be putting together. For this step, we're going to first take the wire cutters and carefully remove the hook from the top of the hanger by cutting it off at the first bend on each side of the top of the hanger where my finger is pointing in this picture. Next, we're going to take the 2 sides of the hanger and bend them in close together so that it forms a base for the lamp to stand up on. You can bend them so that the angle comes out at a point. You can have it rounded like I have here in the picture, or if If you like a square shape, you could do that. I preferred a rounded shape, so I actually used the treat can to help form that curve as I bent the hanger around it. And then that gave a nice smooth curve for the base to balance on. For our final step for preparing the wire base, we're going to grab our needle nose pliers and use those to help bend a couple of inches of wire down on each side to make equal length arms, and then curl the ends of the wires in to little loops. And those little loops are going to be very important because those are going to be our attachment points for attaching the lampshade to the base. Now we're ready to attach the treat can lampshade to our wire base using the 2 screws that we have. And we're going to do this one side at a time by taking a screw and first pushing it through that wire loop that we just made so that the threads of the screw are facing toward the inside of the wire base. Next, we're going to push that through one of the holes that we poked into the side of the can earlier. And then we're going to repeat this on the other side of the can. Now with the 2 screws in place, we're going to secure the lampshade by screwing on the nuts so that they are snug but not super tight. Now we're ready for the exciting part of this project and wiring the lamp so that it will work. And the first step of that, believe it or not, is something that doesn't seem very much like wiring, but it will protect your work from damage later on. So the first step is to take your wire and tie a very loose knot just above the on and off switch. Now we're going to take the metal washer from the wiring kit and feed the wires through the middle of the metal washer so that the flat part of this washer is facing away from the on and off switch. Next, we're going to take the ribbed metal tube piece from the wiring kit and feed the wires through the metal tube. Now, we're going to take the wires and feed them through the hole in the back of the lampshade can. Now we're going to take the white rubber washer from the wiring kit and taking a closer look, you'll see that one side is smooth and one side has some ridges on it. We are going to feed the wire through the washer so that the side with ridges ends up facing the inside back of the can. And then we're going to take our wires that make up the cord together and we're going to gently separate the 2 wire sections so that there's a couple of inches of wire that are separated. Now we're ready to take the black plastic terminal from the wiring kit and we're going to take a close look to see that there are 2 screws. One is silver and one is brass or a golden color. And what we're going to do is we're going to take note of those differences, but we're going to unscrew and loosen both of those screws just so that they're loose, but not removing them. Now we're going to take the wires and take a really close look at them and the covering for them. One of the wiring sides has a smooth cover and one has a ribbed cover. So when we're looking at this, we need to remember this for when we attach that to the terminal, because the ribbed wire or the striped one is our neutral wire and the smooth wire is the hot wire. So now we're going to feed them both through that bottom hole of the terminal and then gently feed the striped wire side through the opening on the side with the silver screw, and the wire with the smooth covering will go to the opening side with the brass or gold color screw. Now we're going to turn our terminal so that we're looking at the side with the silver screw, and we're going to tightly loop the metal part of the wire around the neck of the screw in a clockwise direction only, as pictured here. Now we'll take our needle nose pliers to help make that wire loop even tighter behind the neck of the screw, and then use a screwdriver to tighten the screw and the wire securely in place. Then we're going to look at the other side of the terminal and do the same and repeat with the brass screw. Are you excited? We just completed all of the steps for wiring, and now we're ready for our final assembly steps. So next we're going to take that rib metal tube that's on the wire and carefully feed it up the wire and partly through the hole in the back of the can until it meets with the base of the terminal. Now we're going to screw that metal tube into the base of the terminal until it's nice and snug to secure them together. Next, we're going to feed the large metal washer carefully up the wire and hold the terminal to the back of the inside of the can, and then screw the washer onto the rib tube until the washer is snug against the back of the can and the terminal is snug against the white washer on the inside of the can. Remember that loose knot we tied on the wire earlier over by the switch? Well, now we're going to take that and carefully help move that knot up to the end of the rib tube. And we're going to gently and snugly secure that knot into place there. That knot is really important to help protect your work and the integrity of the wiring connection, so that as you're using your lamp, if the wire gets tugged at all, it's just going to help tighten the knot instead of pulling and damaging the wire that is used to secure the electrical attachment on the inside of the terminal. For the last step of our final assembly, we're going to carefully take that light bulb from the wiring kit and gently screw it into the terminal until it's snug. And that's it. You have just completed making your very own lamp out of a can of your favorite Girl Scout treat. And what could be better? Now, if you're looking to make your lamp more of your own style, here's a couple of important tips to remember. First and foremost, always remember to remove that light bulb first before you get started. And remember to only decorate on the outside of the can for fire hazard reasons, as well as to help maintain the reflective surface of the inside of the lamp. And then enjoy. Now, if you are fascinated with these kinds of projects and you are not in Girl Scouts, but you would love to learn more, come to our website at gshom.org and complete an interest form with the consent of your parent, and we will be happy to help connect you with resources and information on how to do more projects like this as a Girl Scout.